Welp, it is truly fall. Right, Pebbles? Bless you. So, it is a crisp autumn day, and it is time to head out to build our emu house. Well, I'm not going to be able to finish it today. I've never been able to build a house and finish it in one day, but what I would like to do is get the corner posts up and the 2 beams up. Now, this building, I'm doing a little bit different than the ones I've done in the past. When I use regular lumber, I do like traditional stick framing, 16, 24-inch on center studs, top plate, bottom plate, double top plate, etc. And then with the alpaca barn that I built, we did sort of a mix between stick framing and post and beam. And now with this one, I'm going to try to do a more traditional post and beam version. And so I have 4 corner posts and I have 2 4x8 beams that I can put in the top and the bottom. The front and back. So, hoping to be able to use fewer pieces of lumber on this build. Get it done. So if I can get those 4 corner posts up, and if I can get that beam up there, I'll be happy. But I don't think I have my level down here. I'm gonna have to go back. Crap. All right, so let me go do that and I'll be right back. All right, so what I have done here is basically just created a template for where my posts are gonna go. Because what you usually do with post and beam is you sink the posts into the ground and then you have the beam sitting on top. Now what I'm doing is, so each one of my posts is gonna sit right in that corner, right in that corner, that corner, and that corner. And then we'll have a big beam going across to support the load on both of those. So the thing here is now I can set up a beam right there and I will know for sure that everything is square without having to move each one of the posts, because I squared it based on these pieces right here. So I know that my 4 corner posts are going to be square or square enough, and it should work just fine. What do you think, emus? Want to say hello? Thank you. All right, so that's pretty good. We got all 4 of our posts up. These ones, I did some math wrong, so they're gonna be a little short, but that's okay. It'll still be tall enough for me to be in the back there. So these are about 8 feet tall. These are about 6 feet tall. And then the beam goes on top of there. So next I'm gonna grab the beams and put them up there. But I did drop a 4x4 on my leg. And I don't know if you can see, see that bump right there? That is sort of killing me at the moment. Look at that. That's not my knee. That's a bump. So I might need to go and put some ice on that, because that is really hurting right now. So maybe I'll take an aspirin, have some lunch, put my feet up and charge my phone, and I'll be right back. All right, so took a pain pill. Didn't really do all that much, and my leg is like really inflamed. So hopefully it'll be okay. But I'm back down here. I'm gonna try to put the beams up, and then maybe I'll call it a day after that. So here we go. Big beam. All right, so I am actually getting some pretty severe pain in my leg, so I'm gonna need to stop, but at least I got one of the beams up there. Let's go take a closer look. So that is a 7-inch by 4-inch beam that is now holding up that entire back. This will be supporting the roof, and this is gonna be thick enough so that we shouldn't need anything in the center. So my goal was to build this as simply as possible. So, we have one beam that spans the entire width. And so that should be good. It's gonna look pretty good too. Oh my God. Yeah, this is getting a little out of hand. Anyway, so I would really like to get the other beam up there. My freaking leg, I can't. I can barely stand on it. I need to get it elevated big time. Okay, so hopefully I'll check in tomorrow. All right, so we are back here. It's Monday afternoon. So I have the back beam up there, and I just noticed that the front two posts are like 9 inches further apart, or maybe even a foot than the back. I don't know how that happened. But I also don't really care, because I'm still gonna set. So the only problem that would cause is for the roof rafters being angled in. But since we're doing a metal roof, we're gonna be putting strapping pieces horizontally anyway. And also all the rafters are gonna be set, 24 inches apart going either way. So it's not really that big of a problem. And instead of moving these posts, I'm just gonna go with it. This, I don't think you're even gonna notice it at the end. And maybe it's even a design point, right? You know what? Scratch all what I just said. This is the worst text. Oh, yeah. So with this special build here, we're gonna make the front entrance a little bit wider than the back wall, because that's how I intended to do it. And also, can we just take a second to appreciate the autumnal nature that I'm working in right now? Well, first, check out my thick leg. Look at that. But I mean, that's nice. Anywho, next up is getting this front beam set. So I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna cut a couple of scrap pieces to hold the beam up, just sort of while I get it there. And then I'm actually wondering if I should cut it after I put it up, because it might be easier to just do that. No, I think maybe we'll just make it longer. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get it up there. It's gonna have to go up like slowly at a time, but I'll figure it out. Here we go. All right. So this right here is a 4-inch thick by 7-inch tall beam. And you can see that spans end to end. It's something like 14 feet. Yeah, I think it'll be nice to have such a nice clear span in here. Not that it's a huge deal, But anyway, so I used these little scraps to just sort of get it up there one end at a time, because these posts are 90 inches tall. So, you know, this is overall, it's like 97 or whatever inches tall, including the beam. So I just added a little piece of scrap right here, set the beam right there, went over to the other side, set it up to the scrap that I had on that side, and then just sort of did one at a time. I had to scare the emus away because they were just sort of right there and I didn't want anything to happen if the beam went tumbling. But now it's all secured, and so you can see right here. And so this is not a structural piece at all. This is not taking any weight. This is just screwed right into this post and also into the beam to keep that beam right there. But I'll throw some screws in or nails right in there. But again, I'll also have a nice big angle brace right there. So this is good. Got my two beams set up. And now I do sort of want to do board and batten siding on here. One, because I have wanted to do that ever since we bought the mill. And two, because I have a ton of logs that I need to mill. Otherwise they're gonna get, you know, they're just sitting there for a long time. Plus, you know, it's less plywood that I have to do, and, you know, maybe the plywood would be quicker, but I think it'll look kind of nice. Anywho, so I'm gonna put some of my cross beams on here and then see what happens. Check back in. All right, so we have our, I guess that's strapping too, going from side to side there. I also added some angle braces. So you'll see that on something like this side, without those angle braces, this thing moves a lot. I guess it's sort of hard to see on video, maybe if I step back. So if I just shake this back and forth, there's a lot of movement. But over here with these angle braces, because this one goes all the way, you know, almost up to the top and then is anchored to all of these as well as the bottom, there is no flex on this side. So I think I'm just gonna add the two over here and then call it a day. I got a couple other things I wanna do, and Cat will be home soon, so I gotta make some dinner. All right, guys, so it has been a couple days and I have made tremendous progress on this. As you can see, I actually have two walls set up and I have the roof on. Looking back at it, I should have put these boards up first. Learned a lot doing this because this is the first time I've ever done board and batten siding. And so I set the first board up right here and had a level on one side so that I had a level, obviously. And then I used one of my battens here to just sort of stick in between them and use that as a template. So you'll see there is a pretty big gap in there, and this is green wood, so it will shrink, but I have 3-inch battens. So it'll cover that gap perfectly, and I think it'll look good. So this is looking really good, but one thing that I learned, so what I did with these was, so I had the first one set up and I had the roof already on, so you can see the strapping sticking out like right here. So then the problem was, you know, I was thinking I would set each board up, scribe a line, and then cut it. That ended up being way too much work. So on the other side, I screwed all the boards on and then just used a Sawzall to cut the angle off. And that was much faster. I was able to do that side in like an hour and a half, and this side took me probably twice that. So you can see the angle of the roof kind of doesn't match the angle of the side, but that's fine. Doesn't really matter. This thing is solid. It's very nice. And the good thing about the board and batten siding is I can get all the boards up and then I can open up the emus. I don't need to do the battens immediately. It still counts. Still is siding, but also with the gaps there, that saves me probably one board per side. But anyway, I am super happy with how this looks. I think it's come out really good. And yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. Please give us a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and as always, thanks for stopping by.